My heart is 100% classic rock, classic hits, anything with metal. If it's hard rock, I love it. 80s hair, I'm all about that type of music and always have been.
All right. Hi, Vanessa. How are you doing?
I am well, Nigel. How are you?
I am doing good. Welcome to the Meetup spot, by the way.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And earlier before we recorded, I asked you how's everything under the ownership change. Would you like to tell me about it?
Yeah, so for me, it's like coming home. I have already worked with Derm Radio for 10 years. Actually, they were my first, I'm going to say, not major market, but medium market radio jobs. So I have a lot of experience with them. So it's nice to be back with familiar faces and back with the Derm Radio family.
Nice. I'm glad you're having fun.
Always fun in radio, my friend. Always fun.
All right. Okay. Vanessa, tell me about yourself and your growing up story.
Ooh, my growing up story. I am a girl from, well, Conception Bay, South Newfoundland. So I grew up on the East Coast. And when I was around, I'm going to say 22, I just decided it's time to spread my wings. So at the time, I was a manager at McDonald's. So I had worked there for a bit. I had, you know what? I had a good time growing up in Newfoundland. I have great friends from there. My mom's originally from there, but my dad's actually from Ontario. And, we just grew up in a normal family. I'm the youngest of four. So my siblings are a little bit older than me, and they always told me I didn't belong, but whatever. We're all friends right now, so it's all good. But yeah, I just decided in my early 20s that I was going to spread my wings and just move to Ottawa and meet up with my brother and my sister who were already there. And at the time, yes, I was a manager at McDonald's, so I kind of y- when you're in high school, there's a lot of pressure to move on to post-secondary education. And for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time, I thought I wanted to do something medical. So I had spent some time in university doing science and stuff like that. And I didn't do well. I kind of majored in sleeping and library 101 instead of going to class. And then I decided I was going to be an X-ray technician. So I went to college. I changed over to college and we did a tour of the hospital and I thought this is not an environment for me. So I decided to just stay out of school until I decided what I wanted to do. So I was a manager at McDonald's in Newfoundland and I quit my job, went to Ottawa, immediately got a job as a manager in Ottawa. And I was actually quite happy working at McDonald's for the longest time. I learned so much at McDonald's, how to run a business, how to hire people, train people. I mean, these are skills that I never would have picked up anywhere else. But one day we had McHappy Day and the radio station came in. And I grew up with a love affair of radio because when you grow up in Newfoundland, we only had like three channels. My parents refused to get cable. So radio was our thing. Radio was our entertainment all the time. My dad always had the radio on. I always had the radio on. I mean, we would get ready to the radio trying to play contests. So I always loved radio. I never left that love of radio. But when the radio station came in for McHappy Day, I thought, wow, this is incredible and so much fun. I need to do this. And somebody I worked with at the time, she kind of laughed. She's like, "You're never going to leave McDonald's." I'm like, "I'm leaving McDonald's." And by the time, yeah, the next McHappy Day had rolled around, I had my um, acceptance into Niagara College. And I just decided that's it. I'm going to quit my job that I have spent 10 years at, and I'm going to go back to school and do something new. And it's just been fun times ever since.
You seem like a fun person to be with, eh?
Sometimes I'm a boring mom right now,
Oh,
but it's funny how things happen. You're traveling around, you're going from radio station to radio station, and then all of a sudden you land somewhere, and then you meet the love of your life, and you have a couple of kids, and this is my home here in Oshawa right now, so we're
oh.
good. Hmm.
So Oshawa, you're doing your show from Oshawa?
Well, right now I am actually working from home because I had surgery on my eye, which is why I have
Oh,
glasses on. And I've been in recovery mode. It's been a little tricky, I will admit. I had a detached retina, and I will say this: if you ever experience blindness, get it checked out immediately. That's what I did. But I do notice when I'm at the eye doctor, there's a lot of people, and you can hear the conversations who are like, I've had this problem in my eye for 10 months. No, you should go right away and get it fixed. But I've had some complications, so I can't drive at night. So I am doing my show from home right now, and I'm so lucky that I have an understanding employer that lets me do that.
oh, I see. I really
Yeah.
hope you're doing well. So you think Bell wouldn't let you do that when you were when the station was still owned by Bell?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% confident that Bell would have let me work from home as well. My
Oh.
immediate boss, who works out of our Peterborough station, we have a really good crew of people who came from Bell and they were all great at Bell, and we're all together at Durham Radio, and it's a really great group of people, and I'm 100% confident I would have been able to work from home with Bell as well.
Hmm, I see. So
Hmm.
Vanessa, why do you do what you
Why do I do what I do?
do? Hmm.
Um, I think there's a few things. I love music and I love entertaining, but I love entertaining when I'm by myself. I'm not one to go on video and make TikToks and stuff like that. I like to entertain in the audio world. I kind of feel on the spot if I'm on video. So I just love music. Music was number one reason why I went into radio. The second is I like to entertain and talk to people. And throughout the day, you're kind of like a bartender when you work in radio because people are messaging you and calling you, and some people are funny, and they just want to make you laugh and you make them laugh and that kind of thing. But there are some people who are extremely lonely, or they're older and they have no one to talk to, so they will either message you at the radio station or call you, and I'm there for them too. So the good, the bad, the sad. I just like to entertain and make people feel better, and people can laugh at me too. I'm not afraid of that either.
Hmm.
Go ahead and laugh at me.
I see. So one com no, never mind. Um, so you went from a McDonald's manager to broadcasting. How did that transition go?
Oh,
What was
I
like?
I was really lucky. I had no, it's funny when you think about it. So see this headset I have on right now. I would wear a headset like this in the drive-through. And a car would come up, the speaker comes on, you're like, "Hi, I'm Vanessa, can I take your order?" And then you talk to people, and then they leave your life kind of thing. Well, radio breaks are like that too. So the song is almost at the end, you press a button, you're getting ready to talk, and then you speak to people who like speak to one person on the other side of the speaker, and then when it's time to wrap it up, you turn it off and you go on to the next thing. It's a weird transition to think about, but it actually works. Going from the drive-through to radio, I didn't have a hard time at all.
Hey, I love how you're seeing connections from working at McDonald's to being on the radio.
Oh, there are lots of connections. Even when I schedule music, it was like scheduling employees. It was the same kind of program, and I could apply that to scheduling the music for the radio station as well.
Ah, I love that. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. Here, I'm a man, transitioning. I mean, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. We're in there.
I don't know either actually because
Oh,
I've been up for a bit. So usually at this time of day, I will admit it. I has the dumb, Nigel.
ah, I see. I see. So, what was your? I mean, you mentioned you were with Durham Radio first. What was the? What was your first radio job?
Oh, my first radio job was at an AM station called
CKDO?
no, so CJRN 710, which is I
Oh,
don't think it's still there,
not
although
anymore.
it might be a tourist station where they just give tourist information, I'm not sure. But down in Niagara Falls. So I was very lucky. My second semester of school, I got a job at a radio station close by to the college, and I told them I would do anything to work here. I will sweep the floors, I will clean your toilets, I will make you burgers, like it doesn't matter. So they gave me a job, and my first job was to be like, well, we call it a producer now, an operator. And then when the night shift came on at 6, we would have this primetime sports with Bob McCowan, and I would play all the commercials in between the broadcast because we didn't back in the Stone Ages. We didn't really have a lot of technology at that radio station at the time. So the automation that we use today, back then in our FM station, there was a wall full of about 50 CD players, which had like 5 disc changers in it. So the automation was actually real CDs flipping back and forth. And then over on the AM station, everything was manual. We were still using like these big carts, they're called. They look like 8 tracks. We're still all pressing buttons and playing CDs and stuff like that. But it was a really good training ground.
Mm, mm. And so it's a training ground for you. Did you go to other radio stations after that?
So I spent a good part of my college time at CJRN 710 working whatever they gave me. My friend, and I have another friend that did quite well as well. His name is Reggie, and he actually is a reporter in Washington for Global News right now. So Reggie and I used to have a ton of fun, and there were so many neat people there, people who are still in radio now, and I always thank them. But I did a lot of stuff there, and from there I got lucky. I went to Owen Sound. It was called Mix 106. So I went up there
Mm.
and I drove their community cruiser all summer. And then I was heading into my third year of college, and they said, "Hey, we really like you. Why don't you stay on and do weekends? And then instead of doing an internship, why don't you come and work here full time doing evenings and weekends?" And I was like, yeah, sign me up."
Oh,
And yeah, I've been really lucky, actually. I can honestly say in this radio business, I have been very, very lucky.
I see.
hmm
So, what were your struggles in your early days of being a radio DJ, and how did you get through it?
I think my earliest struggles was the fact that and I hope I don't sound awful when I say this, but when I started, there were specific roles for women. So women either did news, they did traffic, or they did the midday show. And or they did evenings and weekends, but they never did mornings by themselves, and they never ever did afternoons. Like that was unheard of at the time. So I think the biggest struggle has been trying to power through all these stereotypical male dominated positions in radio and just trying to get through that. And although I will admit I did love doing middays, absolutely. That was a great position. I called it the mom job because, I could drop off my kids at daycare, I could go to work and then pick them up. So it was good. Or at school when they finally started school. So
Mm,
but that was really it. I mean, I've been really lucky. I've had some amazing bosses in radio. Just it's always um, really it's just been just trying to, move ahead and get better and take whatever knowledge I could get and just have people tell me how I can sound better. Because you go from the whole sing-songy, like the weather today, blah, 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 and then finally you find your voice and your personality, and then you stick with it.
that's nice. That's nice. So, when did you realize that radio was the right fit for you, and what led to that decision?
Oh, the first day I was at my radio lab at Niagara College. So when I applied at Niagara College, I went in for radio, TV, and film. And
Mm,
I thought, oh, I'm going to be a TV reporter. I'm going to do the news. But the minute I got in the radio studio and started playing music and talking and learning all about that, I thought, this is where I'm meant to be right here. And I've done some TV stuff and news, but radio, on air, entertainment, talking about music, that kind of stuff, that's my jam.
mm. And when you're in the radio, do you at times feel lost and just basically do you at times feel lost, just don't know where to go to do? Or,
Sometimes you go like that with your career. There's always ups and downs, right? There's sometimes where you're kind of like when I had children, things changed a lot, right? I found, okay, I'm not as ambitious anymore because, I have to realize that I can't travel from job to job. And, there might be a job open in Edmonton, but am I really going to ask my husband to quit his job, which is more reliable than mine, to, so I can fulfill my dream kind of thing. I think there's times where you have to put your dream on the back burner in order to, um, you have your family, you have other people to think about. And sometimes it's been a little lonely in this business too. I've worked by myself at radio stations for a long time, actually. When I worked in Toronto at Boom 97.3, I was there by myself all weekend. And sometimes I would see people when we would do the swap. I'm off at noon, my coworker comes in, there would be some communication then. But for the most part, for a long time, actually, I've been by myself when I worked in Lindsay, where I work now, for a good, oh wow, 3 or 4 years. I was alone in the building for sure in this massive old house. So that
um,
part gets a little lonely, but I think I'm off track with your question though, Nigel.
that's okay. That's okay. But so really, you're like, yeah. There were there were a couple of times where you're just alone in a building.
I work
Oh,
alone, or there's and I would go a long time without seeing people. Now, some of that was during the pandemic when everybody was at home.
oh, oh,
But in Lindsay, it got to the point where I was actually the only staff member there. Everybody else was working somewhere else. And
oh,
that sometimes could be a little lonely because it's a huge weight on your shoulder and you feel like you're carrying the entire community on your back because you're trying to do all
oh.
this stuff. Um, but it's good now because we have more people back in the building and I have more coworkers, so that's changed for the better.
So yeah, that was during the ownership change when Durham purchased it.
So when Durham purchased it and they finally took over last May, I got myself a coworker who does afternoons, and I reunited with one of my former coworkers
Mm,
who does middays, and then I have a new coworker who works in the evenings, and then we have more salespeople as well. The management are in the building from time to time, checking things out, talking to us, so that part's been really good.
that's great. That's great. That's
hmm
great. So you went from working in Toronto for Boom 97.3 to radio stations and of course Peterborough and Lindsay. How did that
hmm
happen?
Well, I was working part-time in Toronto, which was really good for me at the time because my kids were small and I worked weekends. And then sometimes they would call and say, "Hey, can you fill in for middays?" And I'm like, absolutely. Who doesn't want to do middays at a major market radio station? So I would, put my kids over with their amazing daycare or school, and then I would go into Toronto and come back. And then my son, I always said I would work part-time in radio until my son made it to grade one. And then near the end of grade one, I saw a job opening in Peterborough, and it was full-time, and it was for music director and evenings on their country station. And I was like,
Country?
there's no way ever get hired for this because I don't do country.
Oh.
But I met up with my boss and I thought, oh my goodness, if these guys don't hire me, I'm going to be so sad. And anyway, I ended up getting the job and then I ended up staying on and then I ended up in Lindsay. So,
Mm, mm.
hmm.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay. So what is one thing you believed about radio when you started that you eventually realized is completely wrong?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Um, what is one thing you believed about radio when you started that you eventually realized is completely wrong?
Oh, um, oh, I don't know. That's a tough question. Maybe it's the happiness of people working in radio. When I first, you hear people on the radio, they're always happy, excited. But when you meet people sometimes behind the scenes, sometimes they're not so happy and not the same person kind of thing. I strive to be the same person off air as I am on air, but some people it's a complete character change.
Mm,
And otherwise, I don't know if there's a lot that I found different, but um, yeah, no, the playing the music and talking is just as I imagine it would be. Was it as fun as WKRP in Cincinnati, the TV show that's super old? Probably not when I first started, but it just depends. I find radio goes in different cycles. So, 1 minute consultants are looking for on-air staff to be like this way and kind of reserved and get to the point, move on. And then all of a sudden, now we're in personality driven radio, which is amazing. And, there's a little bit more leeway.
mm. And what is your most memorable experience of your job?
Oh, meeting Nikki Six of Motley Crue.
Really?
I love that guy. I call him my rock and roll husband. And I've met him a few times. And each time he has been so accommodating, awesome, great guy to talk to. He's got a lot of really interesting things to talk about. And every time I've talked to him, I just thought, wow, I'm a lucky girl.
Dang, dang, Motley Crue, eh?
Hmm.
So, hmm, okay. You doing spontaneous on-the-spot interviews for anyone walking to the station is fantastic. How did that open door approach shape the station's connection with the community?
Oh, well, I find, I mean, when you work in a city like the city of Kawartha Lakes and a smaller community of Lindsay and surrounding area, because the city of Kawartha Lakes is made up of a bunch of little towns and villages over 3,500 kilometers. So there's a big landmass, but I try to make it as local as possible. So when you're in a small area like that, people want to hear all about people in their town. They want to know what's going on. They want you to talk to local figures, and these are the people that make it interesting for your listenership. So it's a good thing to make sure that these people are represented on the air and they have a space on your show to do that kind of stuff.
Mm. Oh yeah. So, anyways, back to Nikki Six though. Can you tell me more about talking to Nikki Six?
Oh, wow. It's been a while, but
Oh,
it, there was a time when I worked at 94.9 The Rock in Oshawa. So
ooh,
I was pretty lucky. I was the music director at the time, and I also hosted middays. But well, because I was the music director, I had a lot of connections in the music industry. And one day
nice.
I was at a concert and I can't remember who it was though. I was somewhere and one of the record reps said to me, that guy over there is Nikki Sixx's manager. He manages Motley Crue, and I'm going to introduce you. And I thought, oh my goodness, I might die. So I went over and I met this man. His name is Jordan, and he was the nicest guy ever. And I said to him, I love Motley Crue. Can you tell Nikki Sixx that I absolutely love him? And he said, well, you can tell him yourself because they're coming to town soon, and I'll take you backstage and you can meet Nikki Sixx and, be in the first couple of rows at the show. So my husband, who also loves Motley Crue, we went to the show and we met up with their tour manager. He took us backstage. Now, we didn't get to meet everybody, but we did meet Nikki Sixx. And I just told him, I love you. But
So yeah.
I've
Go
had
on.
some really I've been very fortunate to have some really good memories made like that earlier in my career. Not so much now, but earlier in my career when I scheduled music at a rock station, there was a lot of opportunity.
Mm. So I guess so I guess based on your so based on when it comes to radio, you're more of a rock slash classic hits person, not much of a country person.
No, I'm not much of a country person. I can pull it off because I had to do it for a year.
Oh.
But my heart is 100% classic rock, classic hits. Anything with metal, if it's hard rock, I love it. 80s hair, I'm all about that type of music and always have been. So, when I'm working at the station I'm working at now, Y919, classic hits, a lot of it I love. And I do love 80s pop and I love people like Duran Duran and T'Pau and Madonna and who else? Well, Motley Crue, obviously, Ozzy Osbourne. So we play a lot of those artists and I find it a lot more relatable. But as I get older, I also have an appreciation for a lot of classic rock artists that were before those bands. So I've really decided taken a liking to the music of the Mamas and the Papas. Not so much the band members, but Mama Cass was awesome, but um, the I can appreciate the music of the Mamas and the Papas, also the Beatles. Before, if somebody had said, "I'm going to play the Beatles," I would be like, "No, you're not." But now I can totally get into it because as I get older, I like to appreciate the style and how they did it and how there was no auto tune and it's real kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, and about Y919, it's been like decades since it's been like so Durham brought back the Y brand
Mhm.
after 2 decades, I believe, right?
Yeah, so it used to be, I think it was Y92 or something
Yep,
like that. Um, and then it changed over, I want to
to
say
Bob.
Bob FM. Yeah, so when I came in, it was still Bob FM. So that was 2019. And people, it's funny because people still call us Bob actually more than
Really?
the Y92 brand. But when we announced the name being Y919, people were like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." There was familiar. It was a familiar name for people, and the format too. The format, the greatest hits, classic rock, is a really good format that works in that market. So we
Mm,
had gone from we turned over to Bob, and it was Bob for a long time, I guess. And then we went Bob to Bounce, and then to Y919.
mm. I wonder if you know where the jingles come from because I do. The jingles are from TM Studios WTPI Light Rock, which is an early 2000s jingle package.
Well, you know a lot more about that than I do, actually, but
Really?
I think they have a uniform jingle package from
Yeah.
CKDO, right? A lot of
Yeah.
because when I first heard the jingles on our first day, I was like, oh, I've heard these jingles before because they were playing on CKDO right across the
Mm.
hall from me at 94.9.
Yeah. Oh, have they been playing the jingles for like a long time now on CKDO?
Probably.
Really?
I don't know a lot about CKDO, probably because I was mainly involved with the rock. But
Ah.
I know that jingle packages were used a lot on CKDO and also on our country stations, the KX brand. They also use jingles as well.
Yeah, and for the KX, I'm pretty sure they're from Real World's WYCD 2009.
Probably.
Yeah. No, well,
I I think the thing with our owners, I think they understand that people want to hear familiar things, right? Things that are um, you don't want to change it up too much because people are familiar with the sounds and I do find people expect that or they're singing your jingle, right? Like
mm,
why 91.9.
91.9. Yeah.
Are you a jingle guy?
So far I'm like 5 out of 10 because so far I know about TM Century, TM
Hmm.
Studios, I know about Jam, I know about Real World, Thompson Creative, which is not making jingles anymore, but they brought it back for for people who want a retro style, something like that. and
Hmm.
also Weissbutter, which done jingles for Boom 97.3, I believe,
Hmm. Yeah.
and its predecessor, Easy Rock. So far, but there's more than that. Yeah, because I have to take note that there are a couple of jingle companies right there in Europe, like Top Format or Alpha Sound, and probably like the those radio jingle companies that don't exist anymore, like Gold Creative right here in Edmonton or Music Source right there in Seattle.
Mm, okay.
Honestly, I've grown with jingles back home in the Philippines. And I even used to fear them because of how they sound. Now I've grown to appreciate them, and as of now, I am although while not much of a jingle fan like everybody else, I'm more interested in the TM Jam, Real World Wise, but yeah, something like that though. Yeah, basically jingles I've never like heard before. Yeah.
See, I find sometimes with the jingles, they get in your head, right? So
Oh
you'll
yeah.
wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, the greatest hits of all
It's of all
time.
time.
Or
Yeah.
right now, there's the Instacart where it's not really a jingle, but they're singing in it. I think it's Benson Boone and Ben Stiller, and this Instacart
Mm.
commercial. They're like, Instacart, let you choose your bananas. Da, 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 da. And for the life of me, I can't get this out of my head. And I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll lay there and I'll look at the ceiling going, it's the car, let you choose your bananas. But these are the things that get in your mind, like the greatest hits of all
It's of all
time.
time. Yeah, they work. I really hope a lot of radio stations here use jingles. And I also like to add, I was listening to Y91.9 earlier. I'm glad to hear the mnemonic for the government of Ontario, which is just basically Ontario, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, moving on. Right now, it's tough for people these days to find jobs. If they want to go the same path as you, what are the things they can do right now to practice?
Sorry, can you repeat the first yeah, just repeat the whole thing, please?
I'm sorry.
No, that's
Sorry.
okay.
Right now, it's tough for people these days to find jobs. If they want to go the same path as you, what are the things they can do right now to practice?
Oh, I'm not sure if the same path is available these days for people in radio. Now, I do know that when we came together, when Durham Radio took us over, we also got some new staff, and they were all recent graduates from Durham College, which I absolutely loved. So these were people who did their internship there and stayed on because Durham Radio knew that they were expanding. So I absolutely love that these people were able to do their internship and do the traditional way into radio. But if I was to do that now, I think the biggest thing is I would have more of a um, portfolio online to show what I could do. And I would have a lot of video showing what I can do, also audio as well. But the thing is, I think if you're going to get in radio now, you have to be in everybody's face kind of thing. You know, emailing and calling the program directors and talking to them. When I first started, there's this website called Milkman Unlimited, and it would be full of radio jobs every single day. And you would scroll down and look on this website, and you'd just be so excited. Oh, wow. Can you imagine working here? Can you imagine working there? But now people aren't letting go of their jobs, especially in the smaller markets, and they're not retiring. They're staying on. And I feel that some of those opportunities are not even available anymore. Like there's no overnights. Evenings and weekends is still available at some places, but for the majority of radio now, I find people are bringing their talent from other spots and then filling those spots. So I'm not sure how many places have positions open where you can, work things out and get your feet wet. But I would definitely be in people's faces for sure.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if I still have time to. I'm checking the remaining meeting time. I wonder if I still have time to do one last question before quick fire. So here we go. Yeah, probably one last question, and then after that, I might want to send you a Zoom link
Okay,
to continue this episode. What does
sounds good.
the good? Thanks. What does the sorry? What does the work you do right now mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. It's very rare still, although in 2026, I noticed there's more of us. But as a woman who hosts a morning show by herself, that's a big deal to me, and it never gets old. I do appreciate the time slot. I do appreciate that people are spending their morning with me, and the fact that I'm still employed in radio after all this time. When did I graduate? 2002.
Mm,
So 24 years I've been in this business. I'm very, very lucky to be employed the entire time I've been in this business. So I don't take any of this for granted, and I know it could end at any time. I'm not saying that my employer is going to come in and say, "You're gone, Vanessa," but I just understand the realities of the business sometimes.
nice, nice. We're done with the questions. Let's do quick fire. Are you ready? Answer
Okay.
questions quickly in under 90 seconds.
Sure, sure.
All right, here we go. All right. One word to describe yourself.
Happy.
Okay. What is your best radio DJ tip?
Always be yourself and be authentic.
Mm. Best artist you love to listen to.
Oh, I love Journey and Motley Crue and also Celine Dion.
Oh,
Oh,
one
yeah.
one everyday item you can't leave without.
Coffee.
Uh, mantra in life.
Always do your best.
Best place in Lindsay for a good meal.
Best place in Lindsay for,
A good meal.
oh, a good meal. Oh,
Mm.
the Olympia.
Ah, nice. Best thing to get at the Olympia.
Oh, all their Greek food is so delicious.
I see. Best place in Ontario to go road tripping or travel.
Oh, I love going to Ottawa, to the
Ah,
Parliament buildings.
mm. One song that uplifts you.
Journey, don't stop believing.
Okay. Best lesson you learned in being a broadcaster.
Always be yourself. That's the only, always just be yourself. Don't try to play somebody else. Just be yourself.
Nice. Your biggest inspiration in broadcasting.
Oh, May Potts, Boom 97.3, Marilyn Dennis of Chum FM,
Oh,
who's retiring. Aaron, oh my goodness, why am I having Aaron and Mike? Aaron from CHFI. I don't know
ah,
why yeah, Aaron. So many other women. Any woman who does this for a living is an inspiration.
that's beautiful. All right, I guess that's it. That's it for quick fire. Let's do a screenshot from the yeah from Zoom. All right, here we go. Vanessa, thank you. Any last thoughts or comments?
Nigel, I just want to thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why do you do this podcast?
Honestly, it all started as a Toastmasters podcast, and I want to use it these days to help me build my communication skills.
That's great. You know what? That's a perfect thing to do. So it's been, you know what? I was nervous, but you made me feel at ease and had some great questions. And I really appreciate you asking me. Actually, I was, yeah, I'm thrilled that I did it. So thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. And anywhere we can reach you, Vanessa?
VanessaMurphy.com.
Nice. Again, Vanessa, thank you for coming to the meetup spot.
You are very welcome, Nigel, and you rock.
Thank you. You rock too.